Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Digital Qualifier number 3. I'm your host, Keaton Ellis. We have an exciting event for you today. Players from around the world have spent the last 2 weeks using their supported digital cubes to climb the global leaderboard. The top 16 from this leaderboard have competed, and we're going to be going with the top 8 competing here today live on stream in a single elimination bracket, with the top 3 players qualifying for the World Final coming up on November 7th. A reminder that you watching can also get in on this exciting action and join the leaderboard and qualify at future events. In addition to today, there is going to be one more qualifier in 2 weeks, so make sure to enter for your shot at the World Final. Now, let's talk about today. Players will be in a single elimination bracket, with the winner advancing and the loser dropping out. Each match is a best of 5 solves, so first to 3 advances. Players will solve using the same scrambles and will use all 15 seconds of inspection and start at the same time. That way, you'll be able to tell who won instantly. We'll be showing both the competitors' video as well as the racing app itself, so you'll be sure to get a crystal clear view of the entire solve. For those of you down in chat, you'll be able to get a lot of information by typing in the !FAQ for any questions you may have about the qualification process, especially if you think you can qualify for future events, !events for upcoming events, including the next digital qualifier and the World Finals, and !bracket. Get the bracket and the list of competitors. You can also cheer for your favorite competitors down in chat. !cheer, followed by the competitor's name, will give them a +1 cheer for their solves. Speaking of the bracket and these competitors now, let's go over that bracket. Right now, we have the top 8 already figured out. In our first seed, we've got Ellie J, we've got Alfasi, Florian Trujintanner, and I'll get some help from Dana about that later. Isaac Myers, Ava Cotto. We also have Viktor Kamar, Manuel Gutmann, and Roy Tomir. So we've got an incredibly great bracket. There's some of the world's fastest solvers in this list, so I'm sure we'll see an exciting qualifier here. Finally, at the end of today's call, the winner of the qualifier. Stick around to learn more about one of your favorite players. Without further ado, I'm going to pass things off. I'm actually going to be casting this event today along with my co-caster, who I spoiled a little bit, Dana Yee. So, Dana, welcome.
Hey, Keaton, how's it going?
Things are going great. How do you feel casting today for this third qualifier?
Honestly, I'm really excited. Normally I'm on the competing end, but I'm excited to be on this end. And it's always fun to talk to you. It's fun to commentate on solves, fun to chat, catch up, and I think it should be fun.
I'm looking forward to this. It should be one heck of a set of competitions today.
Indeed.
These guys are really fast. From the people that are currently in the top 8, do you have a favorite that's going to be able to make it all the way to the global finals and win this whole qualifier?
I think I'm personally biased. From this list, I do know several of these cubers, but I personally know Ava really well, and I think it would be really cool if she could push her way through. I think, honestly, even seeing from top 16 to top 8, there were some upsets, some unexpected results, so we never really know. But personally, I'm a little biased. I know Ava really well and hope she does well. How about you? Do you have any favorites?
So you've got Ava. I'm going to make things interesting and go on the other bracket to make my prediction. I think Eyal Alfasi is someone who did particularly well in the last qualifier and only just barely lost to Patrick Ponce in the 3rd place match. I think he's got a good shot here. I think this is going to be one of his best opportunities, and I think that he's going to be able to pull this upset here over Ellie and take it all the way. So I think mine's a little bit more out there than yours in terms of how likely it's going to be, but I think this would be a really interesting match. We are starting up here with our first match of the quarterfinals. LEJ versus AL Alfasi. Now, these guys have both been in qualifiers before. AL has been a fourth placer, like we talked about earlier, but he also was in the first one knocked out by Chris Mills. Ellie did not qualify for the first one, but was knocked out by AL actually in the last one. So that sort of leads into my prediction here, but let's take a look at this scramble right now. Is there anything on it that you see that's particularly good? Ooh, got in very quickly here.
Yeah. Both chose to start with white, which is pretty common. Ooh, that looks really close. Ellie, apologies. Ellie taking it with a 69 move solution. Not bad.
He looked really nervous at the end there. In the bottom left, he was like kind of spooked that he made it. That was a really slow ending to that G perm and almost let AL come back and make it. But he does take it. I'm hoping that my prediction stays true, but I also am going to be impartial as a caster and try to give the most information that I can. Ellie is actually the first seed coming to these qualifiers. He got a 5.45 during the qualification phase, which is right before this qualifier. There was a 2-week period where 10 days of those 2 weeks you were able to qualify. You did 5 sols every day, and then the top 16 from that make it into this. So Ellie got first with a 5.45 over, I guess it's 50 sols, so that's not too crazy or unheard of, but still very fast. And no one else being able to beat him is very impressive.
Ooh, let's see. I think this solve is orange cross looks really nice. Let's see. Oh, Ellie agreed with me.
Definitely slower on that F2L though.
AL taking that one, bringing it up to 1-1. Pressure's on, and I think both. Yeah, I think both competitors are pretty nervous, pretty excited. You can see AL constantly taking the thing to dry off the sweat, the nerves. It's all coming in.
Arms are sweaty, Dan. Definitely in these situations, the pressure's on. But a couple other things about Ellie. He's not just good at 3x3. He's the number 1 seed today, but he is really good at some of the bigger cubes as well. So he's a national record holder for 5x5, 6x6, and 7x7 in the UK, and has previously been very good at Scoob. So he's sort of going around doing the gauntlet.
And you'll note that obviously the entire qualifier is in this virtual format. So something that's been pretty new recently are these Bluetooth cubes that have come out, where it allows you to as you can see on the screen, see their scramble. They're really cool, really up and coming. I believe the 2 cubes that are compatible for this qualifier are the Rubik's Connected Cube and the Go Cube Edge. I can't quite tell from their videos because they're quite small for me, but I think this technology is really interesting, and it's especially important that it's super up and coming and prevalent, when we're not really supposed to go out and see a bunch of people.
Yeah, the fact that we're able to hold an entire competition completely online and be very confident that no one is cheating or having some sort of unfair advantage from these digital cubes, I think is a really great step, and helps create these really interesting competitions that we can enjoy and watch.
Really taking that one to bring it up to 2-1.
AL, on the other hand, after talking about Ellie for a little bit, AL is a little bit more of an old school cuber compared to Ellie, who started in 2010 and was actually inspired to cube by Eric Ackersdyke, who had the world record for quite a while back in the 2007 to 2009 era, and is still a very relevant cuber here today. His best solve ever is a 441. So he's done very close to that in competition previously. And actually the last qualifier, he ended up getting a low 5-second single. Oh, and it looks like he's going to take this solve right here with a 763.
Not bad. with around 8.9 turns per second, which is pretty good.
Looked like
Looks
he had a
pretty
nice
happy
T
about
perm
it.
at the end.
Yeah.
So nothing too crazy on that stat line, but good consistency all around. So Eyal has taken it to a 5-solve match here against Ellie. Again, the winner of this is going to be moving on. The loser in the quarterfinals does go home, but there is one more qualifier that they can be a part of, which is going to be happening in 2 weeks. So we are probably going to see both of these guys again in the future, whether or not they move on or they lose. For those of you just tuning in, by the way, you are watching the first of the quarterfinal matches here for the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Digital Qualifier number 3 with LEJ versus Eyal Alfasi. Both of them won their first round matches and are currently going into solve 5 right here. White does not look very good here. Ooh, Ellie does go with red. And ooh, is able to cancel into a T perm. Ooh,
nice. With the 7-8.
That was very close.
Very exciting matches. I always think when they get up to 5 solves, those are the most interesting matches because the nerves are on, everyone's excited, and like that one solve will decide the outcome, and you each have 2 solves behind you.
Yeah, and Ellie was literally 2 or 3 moves away from finishing his T perm during that. So it's not like this was a blowout. This is probably one of the closest deciders I've ever seen. And Eyal is able to take it and advance to the semifinals, the top 4, where he's actually advanced once before. So he's very consistent and doing very well here.
And right, we said before, Ellie came in ranking number 1. I don't remember what Eyal's rank was, but you know, there are upsides like this. You know, cubing, especially 3x3, is such a short event. Anything, nerves, like a couple bad solves, anything will sort of take you out of the mood. And I think it's really easy for 3x3 to fluctuate based on how you're feeling, how your past solves have went. So unfortunately for Ellie, he'd not advanced, even though he came in ranking first. But, you know, Keaton, what else do you think could have affected that?
That first solve that they did where Ellie sort of bungled the G perm a little bit and just barely was able to finish it in time before Eyal made it. I think that might have, it looked like it spooked him, like put him out of the zone and got him into a different sort of headspace. One thing as well is being one of the first matches sort of makes you a little bit nervous. You don't have as much time between the stream starting and yourself being up and present on that stage to be able to mentally prepare yourself, as some of the later solvers are able to do. So, and also the rankings are also based on single, so there is a little bit of fluctuation there. And if you get one lucky solve, sometimes your rank might be a little inflated. Although I don't think Ellie's was. I think he did very well, and I think we also had a good performance from Eyal right there.
All right, so Florian. I may butcher this. Apologies. Florian Trujintanner takes this one with 1-0. Florian actually was knocked out in the first qualifier by Bill Wang in the top 8 and did not participate in the second. And yeah, and then we have Isaac Myers. Do you wanna?
Yeah, this is Isaac's first appearance in the top 16. He did participate in the first 2, but did not qualify for this online live stream qualifier. So he actually was one of the biggest upsets that we had in the first round. He was able to upset Eitan Schild, who was the 5th seed, and Isaac was. We've got a 12 seed here in the top 8 right now, and he overall is quite a well-rounded person. He's apparently was a professional race car driver from the ages of 8 to 18. And has listened to September by Earth, Wind, and Fire for 24 hours straight on the 21st of September, which that song does mention. So he's very diverse in his hobbies right there. We are going into solve number 2 here.
Florian seems to have a pretty good start.
Ooh, Florian's going to
Ooh.
be skipping OLL right there
Mm-hmm.
and goes straight into PLL. So 12:30 though. That's a little bit slower than what we were expecting from him, especially because the last solve was quite nice.
Mm-hmm. Right,
Ooh,
but each solve doesn't need to be fast. You just need to be faster than your opponent.
this is true.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of 3-second F2L pairs right there by Florian, but he is able to pull it back with that OLL skip into R perm. So very nice for him. The winner of this match is going to be facing Eyal Alfasi. So I predicted Eyal to do very well in this tournament. He's already got that first quarterfinal win. I think both these competitors are definitely going to have their luck cut out for them. They've got to continue up against Eyal.
Right, so this could be a sweep. We could see a reverse sweep. I always say these matchups are so short, and 3x3 is such a volatile event that anything really could happen. So Florian could take this one, or we could see a comeback.
I think Florian's definitely got the higher amount of experience here. He was actually the winner of the very first ever Red Bull qualifier in Vienna back in 2018, and has competed actually in Boston 2 years ago at the highest level. As we see here, he's going off. He's gone on to OLL before Isaac's able to finish F2L right here, and a very clean win for him right there.
Very clean solve.
So 3-0 from him. Congratulations to Florian. He's going to be going on to those semifinals against Eyal. So while we're talking about these qualifiers, we actually have someone here who has already qualified. Dana, you're going to be making it into the finals for speed queuing. How do you feel about making it to the global finals, and sort of what differences there will be this year with this digital format?
Right, so obviously you said, first of all, the big format is that it is digital. The conditions will be different. I think the nerves will be different type of nerves. Instead of, looking to your left or to your right and seeing hundreds of people, it'll be like seeing the little numbers on stream if I'm watching, or probably turn it off to try and focus. I think to prepare, try to get used to the cubes that I'll be using in competition. And then other than that, I don't think there are ways to practice nerves, given that there are no real competition, at least in-person competitions for me, where I live in the U.S. But yeah, should be interesting. I'm really excited to see how everything goes. I love the quality of this stream, at least like watching it from here. So I'm really excited to see how everything goes.
I think one thing that might help with that is the ability to live stream and sort of get that practice in while people are watching you. It's not going to be exactly the same type of environment, of course, but you get somewhat close to it. You have to set up your camera. You got to focus on those types of things. You got to answer people, but obviously, I think performing in these types of situations is always at a different level. And of course, I wish you the best of luck in those finals.
Thank you. All right, who do we have up next, Keaton?
We have your favorite to win this whole thing, Avocado, and we also have Viktor Kamar. I like that little decal he's got in the background right there. It kind of looks like that logo that's in the top right corner. Take a look at the scramble right here. Viktor is going to be doing yellow, where Ava is going to be doing blue. Gets a very nice OLL right there, but GC perm is going to leave Viktor the victor. Had to make that pun once. But we have seen Ava before in one of these. She did not qualify for the first live stream qualifier, but was knocked out by Eyal Alfasi in the top 8. So Eyal is one of the more formidable competitors here and has already beaten Dana's choice to try and win it all. But otherwise, she's also well known for being #Cuber, where she's got a very nice big YouTube channel where she posts both funny skits and her incredible solves. How about our other competitor, Dana? Give us a little bit about Viktor.
Right, so hold up, my computer is... So Viktor, he did not participate in the first qualifier, and unfortunately in the second qualifier, he was matched up with Patrick Ponce, who you guys probably know. Very fast, very well known, very consistent, very good under nerves. So unfortunately, Viktor was taken out in the top 8 match. He's from Austria, which apparently there's a note that there are no kangaroos here. And
That was the note that he put.
okay, so I did not know that. That's a fun fact. There are no kangaroos in Austria. And fun fact, he is very good friends with Florian Trujintanner. I did say that just so I could have fun saying that name. But they're also rivals, and I think this is a common theme in the cubing community where you sort of have rivalries, right? But I use air quotes that you guys can't see because
There's a winner and there's a loser. You worry more about how people are doing and how good friends they are and you care about other people. So those things are very important, and we are always happy to see good friends and good rivals, and that I think is really healthy competition for people as well. So it's good to have someone that you like and can train with and can work really hard to push you even further. Viktor is also sum of ranks #1 in Austria and has made podiums in multiple qualifiers. So although he did not make it to Boston in 2018, so he's very experienced here and is able to bring some of that here. But of course, Ava is the higher ranked seed and is able to perform under pressure as well.
And not Florian. Viktor is pretty well seasoned. He's been cubing for over 10 years, and his first competition was in 2011 in Budapest. I also see a note that he plays football, though I'm American, so I'm not sure if this means our soccer or our football. I'm also not good at sports, so I don't know.
It's all right, Dana. We forgive you.
American football, so the
how
one
fast
with
you
the...
are at solving Rubik's Cube.
I like playing sports. I don't know much about them.
Wow. We're glad that you're able to already make it to the World Finals for this. We have high hopes for you there as well.
As long as it's not based on my knowledge of sports.
Moving into this fourth solve here, Viktor is actually able to take solve 3. So Ellie, our first seed, was knocked out against Alfasi. Right now, Ava, our second seed, is currently on about to be on match point against Viktor Kamar, who's our 10th seed. So some of these lower seeds are doing particularly well this time as opposed to some of the previous qualifiers. So this is very exciting. And let's take a look at this scramble right here to see white is okay, but we need to be checking blue and green for Ava as well. So I'm also not seeing a particularly great blue, although it is all right. But she instead goes for she does go for blue this time. Yes, that's a really nice looking scramble, except she's got 2 cross pieces messed up.
A little mishap there by Ava, leading to Viktor with the win, 3-1.
Those types of mistakes are pretty big when it comes to these qualifiers, making it, with every solve mattering. Unlike WCA official competitions, these Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup competitions, every solve matters. You don't get to drop a solve. You don't get to, you don't get one bad mistake sort of thrown away. Every solve counts. And so if you mess up, that's passing a win off to your opponent. And in this case, that's exactly what happened.
And this is also different because in normal competitions, you're competing with yourself, right? You want to get 5 of your best solves to beat your best time. But in an exciting format like this, you don't need to get a good time. You just need to beat your opponent.
Right. Right. So in these types of cases, if the scramble is really bad, you know that the other person's scramble is also really bad, and your goal is just try to climb that mountain just a little bit faster than they can to beat those bad scrambles. We have just seen Viktor Kamar make it to those semifinals over Avocado. Congratulations to Viktor. We'll see him in just a second. And for Ava, we hope to see you again in the 4th qualifier. Your solves have been very, very impressive on stream. Moving on to our last quarterfinal match here, we've got Manuel Gutmann versus Roy Tomir. Manuel, you guys have seen him previously live on stream. He has made it to the top 8 twice already. This is his 3rd time in a row. Last 2 times, he got knocked out by Michał Bleskovic and George Scully, respectively. And both of those two have now made it to the World Finals and qualified. So I'm not sure if that says something about Manuel. He's very fast. But maybe it says something about Roy. Maybe he's going to qualify this time as well. I'm not sure.
Right.
Or maybe it's Manuel's time to break the mold.
Right. And Roy's on the right here. On the first qualifier, he was knocked out by Giovanni Contardi in the top 16. And the second one, he was actually knocked out by Manuel in the top 16 final. So, things are kind of coming full circle. We'll see how this match turns out. And a fun fact, he started cubing in 2013, so 7 years.
Yeah, he's also mainly good at FMC and is very, very good there. So I'm not sure exactly how much that efficiency translates over to 3x3, and I don't think it translates over, an incredible amount. But being able to know some specialty algorithms, especially one of the biggest things for fewest moves that Roy is really good at is being able to move just a couple of pieces at a time, which is really convenient and good in environments where you have just a corner out of your F12, for example. Being able to do the optimal thing in that scenario is really helpful. And so it doesn't look like it.
This one.
Doesn't look like helping out there.
Yeah, and I think this matchup is interesting because Manuel is known for being very good at blind, which is where you memorize a cube and then put on the blindfold and solve as fast as you can. Where, as Keaton mentioned, Roy is well known for FMC, which is fewest moves, where you're given like an hour to sit down and come up with the shortest solution that you can for a cube. And I think these two events require very different mindsets. And so it's interesting to see how they translate into 3x3 with both hands. So for that, I think, this matchup is quite interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one, and it's one of the closest that we've had in terms of the votes as well. So for those of you who are down in Twitch chat watching this, you guys can type a 1 or a 2, and then your vote will be able to be cast to see whether or not you think Manuel or Roy. So let's talk a little bit about some of these things that have been changing with cubing because of the coronavirus, because of the fact that we have to stay at home so much. We obviously have this right here, which is this completely online qualifier. But what do you think the future is going to look like now that we have these digital cubes, now that we're starting to develop this infrastructure so that we can hold these online competitions with high confidence? Do you think that's going to change things at all in terms of cubing?
Right. So the fact of cubing going back to normal, I think that's a bigger question of whether the world itself is sort of going to go back to normal. And I don't want to deviate too much, but I think it'll be a long time before people are comfortable getting into groups of big people. And obviously this innovation of Bluetooth cubes is really, really awesome. Future competitions, I think, successfully could happen online. Like this format is super exciting, super interesting. Although due to the fact that it is virtual, right, the thing that I miss is being able to see someone, sit down, chat, get food, things like that. So in the meanwhile, I think it's a very good alternative. And in fact, even if things go back to normal, I think it's also a very good option. But for me personally, I love seeing people in person. So given the option, I believe I would try to go to more competitions if possible. What about you, Keaton?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that it's really good to have this type of innovation in the scene. And for the most part, being able to sort of take a break from a lot of the work that's done with the WCA and have a lot of these people be able to do things outside of that format and experiment a lot. I think the head-to-head format here is very exciting, but we previously have done the cubing at home streams, and you've been on and competed a couple of those, and I've been host and broadcaster for some of those. And being able to just experiment with different formats and sort of have some hybrid between the WCA competition model where everyone competes and this very exciting spectator format is going to be something that I think we should be continuing to work on in the future, as we see Roy here take solve number 3. So it's not a clean sweep. Roy's going to be using the Go Cube, where Manuel in this case is using the Rubik's Connected. So we got a good case of each competitor using a different cube.
I
You
think the
have,
Go Cube looks really nice when it lights up. Just random side comment.
yeah, it is very aesthetically pleasing. It is, but the cubes themselves have some differences, right? The Go Cube is very rounded on the corners, whereas the Rubik's Connected looks a lot like your standard Rubik's Cube. The magnets on it, I've always been I've been playing with it quite a bit. The Rubik's Connected for the better part of over a month now. Those have strong magnets in it. Have you been playing with yours a lot, Dana?
Yeah, I have. Not so much recently. In general, I haven't been cubing it as much due to school, but I have, and the magnets indeed are very strong. I find that I can't do super long sessions because my hands start to hurt after a while. Although, in general, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. My hands just start to hurt after cubing for like an hour now. But it's a really nice cube. I have been playing with it a lot, and I think as like a technology-enabled Bluetooth cube, it's really good.
Yeah, I've been very pleasantly surprised by how good it's been and how well it turns. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Right. And I think it's interesting that these cubes are becoming more cubes with a Bluetooth functionality instead of like a Bluetooth cube that also turns.
Right.
And that like leads to the fact that they're much higher quality than, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago I would have expected a cube with the Bluetooth capabilities to be.
Yeah, I mean, things have progressed very quickly. But we have just seen the quarterfinal match finish up. Manuel Gutmann takes it 3-1, so he's able to make it past that top 8 block that he's had for the last 2. And we now have our semi-final matchups. On the top side, we've got Alfasi versus
Eli J.
No, it's Florian.
What? Oh, my page did not refresh. And being in the virtual format, we face technical difficulties. So against Florian Trujintanner.
Yes, I needed your help there saying that name.
Gotcha.
On the bottom side, we've got Viktor Kamar and, of course, Manuel Gutmann. Only 3 of these people are going to be able to make it to the top world finals this qualifier, and one of them is going to be going home. So
they're technically already home, but you know what we mean.
Yes, all of them are currently home, but they will be needing to stay at home and qualify at a future time.
Indeed.
Speaking of these qualifiers, you're going to be able to qualify for this 4th digital qualifier starting tomorrow, and that'll be going on for a 10-day period before qualification times end, and we prepare for the 4th qualifier. So make sure you've got your Rubik's Connected and or Go Cube Edge ready to go for tomorrow's digital qualifiers starting. Speaking of starting, though, we've got this match with Eyal and Florian right here. Eyal is the one that I thought might win it all, but Florian is definitely one of the fastest solvers, and of course is Austria's fastest solver. So both of these guys are relatively close in speed, and I think this is going to be one of the closest matches we've seen so far. But the big thing is to make it into the finals. If you win your semifinal match, you are guaranteed the global finals, regardless of whether or not you win or you lose in the finals. Obviously, it's nice to be the #1 winner, but at the end of the day, these guys really, really care about that global finals and trying to be able to do well there.
Looks like Ellie is the favorite based on the poll.
Let's take a look at this scramble, Dana. I got that nice red and blue edge connected up to that red and white. But it doesn't look like that corner. It doesn't look like the other edge. Looks very nice. Both solvers are doing white here.
White.
G-perm by Florian.
Ooh. AL seemed to get a little tripped up on the E-perm, but took it with an 11. And again, right, so we can expect to see faster solves from solvers, but again, you don't need to be super fast. You just need to beat the other person. And in this case, AL did take it.
It looks like there might have been a desync as well. So
Mm.
we previously talked about things that competitors need to be focusing on in order to try and, avoid sort of rule breaking, either on purpose or on accident. Some of these include making sure that you don't turn the cube too early and making sure that you don't pop. But another one is make sure that your cube hardware is good and that your cube is very charged, which is a very strange sentence to me as someone who's been
Right.
cubing for a very long time. Saying the sentence, I need to charge my cube, is very new to me. But Florian might have experienced a little bit of that right there. If your cube is not at full or close to full charge, occasionally it might desync on one or two moves, and that difference might cost you the solve right there. So Florian's got it resynced up, and hopefully he doesn't have any of those throughout the rest of this tournament.
Let's take a look at this scramble. Green has an edge piece in place.
I'm looking at red right now. Red is my number one, but I believe both of these solvers are white only in this case. I don't like white. It might be white-yellow. Oh, I did not like the look of that white cross.
Yeah, it looked a little messy. Seems to be close here. Ooh, AL getting on PLL. Oh!
Florian's able to take it, though.
Mm-hmm.
He had a Z-perm, though, which is one of the worst. Not one of the worst, but definitely the worst PLL with all corners solved. So it takes quite a while right there. But it was.
I will say, I believe in that one, AL got to the last step, which is PLL, a little faster than Florian, but Florian was able to execute faster and thus take that solve. So now we're up to 1-1. The poll seems a little bit more even instead of completely skewed towards one side. So this should be interesting. We're on our third solve now.
AL is the favorite to win from the chat voting, but I'm not so sure. Florian definitely had that first solve in the bag if it weren't for the desync, and it was close on that last one, but he did win, and was able to make better use. Remember, we were talking about both people get the same scramble, and it was really bad in that case. So he was able to make better use of the bad scrambles. It doesn't look like white is as bad here, so let's check out what they're going to be doing. Ooh, AL looks like he's going through real fast. Oh, he's going to get a skip if he does the right.
He is. Yes. Ooh. Both good solves, but AL taking that one. Very smooth.
I think it's the fastest solve of the digital qualifier so far, a 7.11, a 7:11. Yeah, look at that. OLL time.
Yeah.
Skipping that PLL, making sure that he gets that good skip in.
And I think just trying to observe them visually, I think AL might be a little bit more nervous. He seems a little more, I can't think of a word right now, but he's drying off his hands, drying off the sweat. Definitely happens when you get nervous.
He's smiling a lot too, which might help calm him down, actually. Like physically, the act of smiling releases serotonin to try and help you sort of calm down a little bit. But I think both of them are very experienced cubers. I mean, Florian is literally the fastest cuber in Austria, and AL is one of the fastest cubers in Israel, and had a 5-year Israel champion streak. So Ben Barron, who's already qualified, has since taken that away from him. But AL is very used to competing at the top level. Green looks like a really nice cross here. So if only these guys were color neutral, but otherwise it looks like AL is doing very well.
Ooh.
But
Florian with the V perm.
Ooh, he won with the V perm.
Yeah.
Was he using the new ALG?
I actually could not catch it. I'm not too sure.
There is this new V perm that I know that you've talked about on your channel. That some people have switched to. I don't think it's any faster. I just think it's more consistent. And so consistency is really key in these as well. You don't want to be accidentally messing something up and having a loss be due to an error that you made during your own solve.
And it seems like Florian might be listening to music. Sometimes I find that helps me get in the zone. So AL seems to be trying to take it more like smiling, trying to get in the mood, and Florian might just be listening to music to get himself pumped up.
I've actually had that same type of feeling when I'm doing online solving, sort of sitting at my desk. If I'm listening to music, it helps the focus by um, just sort of letting me mellow out a lot of the background and just focus on what's going on right now. We're going on the fifth solve, though. These guys need to win this in order to make it to the finals and guarantee their spot in the qualifiers.
Ooh.
It's close.
Oh, Florian takes that one very close. Wow. I was trying to watch them side by side, and they looked like they were both like at the same step at the same time, and then Florian just edges it out.
Yeah, Florian had GC there as well. So my prediction made it only one round past yours, but Florian with that GC permit at the end, look how long that took him. It took him 2.3 seconds in order to get that thing done. So big congratulations to him for making it onto the finals and guaranteeing him a spot in the global finals. Of course, AL is not out yet. There is still the third place match. He's familiar with. He lost to Patrick Ponce last time, but there's no Patrick this time. So we are going to be seeing him again very shortly before we move on to our next semi-final match. Dana, we've got a giveaway that we're going to be doing. If you guys purchase Rubik's Connected or GoCube Edges and use those to qualify, you may be eligible for a giveaway package that Rubik's has been doing. There is one that he won. Daryl Clark is the winner for our third qualifier here. He placed 278th on the leaderboard from the United States with a best solve time of 30.12 seconds. Congratulations to Daryl Clark. Oh, my bad. 34.89 seconds. I need to make sure that I read my correct numbers.
And what does the prize pack include, Gaten?
The prize pack includes a Rubik's keychain, a Rubik's Edge, which is a floppy cube that has a couple of extra turns built into it. So it's not just your standard floppy cube. A Rubik's Mini 2x2, a Rubik's Cube, a Rubik's Master 4x4, and the Rubik's Professor 5x5. I think this is going to be the most interesting one to people. The new Rubik's Speed Cube. So this is one that is just coming out. And so they're going to be able to get a nice sneak peek at that. And the new 40th anniversary metallic cube, which is actually very heavy and like very well built. There's also going to be another giveaway for this fourth qualifier coming up in 2 weeks. So make sure you guys get your names on the leaderboard.
All right. So who do we have up here?
We've got Viktor and Manuel Gutmann going at it for this final spot. Solve number 1 is happening right now. Viktor does a sledge there to get a nicer POL or nicer OLL, but he had to sledge to avoid the dot case and got a GC perm, and Manuel was able to edge him out because of that. So a little bit of bad luck on Viktor's part. Is fairly close with this 50 to 50.
And I think from top 16 to top 8, Viktor and Manuel 3-0, and for top 8 to get into the live stream here, they both won against their opponents 3-1. So that's pretty interesting. Again, just adding to the fact that it's a relatively equal matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Viktor was able to beat Ava, so that's one thing in his favor, but everyone's very close at this level, so don't take that, and look too deep into it. Although this is a very nice solve for Viktor. Manuel is able to take it again.
Viktor seems quite upset with that one. That was very close. He finished probably only a couple moves afterwards.
He's actually, I think, one of the more emotional solvers here, not in like a bad way, but he really rides when he's doing well. He really sort of gets into this groove. When he was playing against Patrick Ponce in the last qualifier, he actually took the first solve off of Patrick, which our casters and most people were actually very surprised by because Patrick was one of the odds-on favorites. He was pumped. He was fist pumping. He was, to pull lingo from some video game communities, he was popping off. Like he was very excited.
I've never heard that used before.
So I'm certain that he must have felt very excited there, and he needs to make sure that he stays focused and composed for this. He's got a 3-2 reverse sweep if he wants to make it into the finals, but of course there is the third place match. He's not completely out yet.
The poll seems to be skewing towards Manuel now that he has a 2-0 up in his favor. Let's see, Keaton, what do we think about this solve?
I'm looking at it right now. Manuel's got red. Make sure you take a look at red, and that looks actually very nice. So that's not looking in Viktor's favor, but Viktor's able to save a pair right there, so that's doing well for him. And very clean solve onto Ukraine right now.
And I believe Manuel had a little mishap there, so pretty clear win for Viktor there.
Yeah,
could this be the start of a reverse sweep?
We'll see. I'm not so sure about that, but it is definitely good for him to not get eliminated immediately, take a second, recompose himself, and make sure that he's focused for these last two solves. We have 3 seconds here until this last one, or next one. I don't think this will be the last one, but if you guys are just tuning in, coming to watch our digital qualifier number 3, you are currently in the semifinals, watching Viktor Kamar versus Manuel Gutmann. These guys are some of the faster solvers, and Viktor actually had to beat Avocado, the number 2 seed, to make it into this semifinals. So he's down 2-1 right now against Manuel, and we've got a close match. The other semifinal, Alfasi versus Florian.
Oh, sorry, Trujintanner.
Thank you, Dana. I had Florian winning it, just barely eking out the victory against Ayal. So Ayal is going to be going down to that third place match that we'll see the loser of Manuel versus Viktor on very shortly. But we've got one more qualifier, Dana.
Yeah, and it's starting tomorrow, right?
You've got 10 days starting tomorrow, Sunday, September 27th, to use one of your supported digital cubes, either the Rubik's Connected or the GoCube Edge, to go on to the Rubik's Connected app and try and qualify for this digital qualifier number 4. That's happening in exactly 2 weeks from today.
Right, seems to be back. I believe we ran into some technical issues, and as I mentioned before, that's another new introduction in the virtual format. You know, in a real competition, the most technical thing is like, where's the solver? Go find them. Whereas, if your internet is down, if your cube disconnects, if it powers off.
Right. We got a lot more moving parts here to host these digital competitions, but I think for the most part, things have been very, very smooth today, and overall throughout the last couple of competitions that we've held. And every single one, I think, gets better than the previous one with extra experience and learning a lot more, which I think is really good for the cubing community in general, both being able to host online competitions during this time and also for future competitions at big events. And I think this is a really nice good white cross.
Yeah.
I think that's a block.
Potentially. Ooh, Viktor has 100% of the pull right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he made best use of that block right there. The block was on green, orange.
And we're going to bring it tied up to 2-2.
That block was green, white, and orange, which meant that Manuel could not do it because he's red only, so that doesn't help him at all. One of the biggest reasons that you should be dual color neutral, by the way. If you only solve a one cross, if anything is really nice on the opposite, you're not going to be able to take advantage of it at all. So
right. And to elaborate, Cross color here means like the first step in solving Rubik's Cube. Obviously, there are 6 sides, and I think due to the tutorials online, most people tend to be white only, white yellow only, or green blue only. And I think it's super beneficial to be able to solve on multiple colors so you can take advantage of really good scrambles. And if something is really bad for one solve, you can do another side.
Right. Dana, how many colors do you solve?
I solved 6. This is actually a relatively new development for me. I think when I started, almost everyone was white yellow, so I was white yellow for probably 8-9 years, and then a couple years ago a couple really fast people switched over. Most notably, I think Patrick switched when he was averaging around 7 seconds. I was like, you know what, I should do that. So now I'm up to 6 colors, and that's, you know, the maximum number of colors I can do now.
All right, we've got this last solve right here. Viktor is able to preserve what it looks like as a nice X cross, but
Ooh.
Definitely took a little bit of time off of that.
Yeah.
And Manuel's able to make it.
Very close there. I think that again was off by only a couple moves. Viktor definitely not happy with that. Manuel excited to clutch that solve.
That's what we would call a pop-off, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
That was really excited, clapping a let's go. Or maybe a vamos.
More sayings to my repertoire. And so Manuel popped off.
Congratulations to him. We've got 2 of our 3 finalists made here today. Florian and Manuel have made it to the global finals. And of course, you will see them in just a minute in the finals. We've got one more to decide, and that is going to be our 3rd place match that is coming up, Eyal versus Viktor. Do you have any thoughts about this one?
I'm not too sure. Again, in the semifinals, both of the matches were super exciting. They ended 2-3. I think based on what we've seen before, Eyal might edge it out, but we shall see. Do you have a pick based on what we've seen or just what you know?
Well, I think these guys have both battled pretty hard to get here. Like Eyal had to beat Ellie, who was the number 1 seed, and Viktor had to beat Ava, who was the number 2 seed. So they both have done pretty well today. They've been solving relatively well. They did get a little bit unlucky on their 5th solve and their semifinal matches, so I think it's going to be very close. I don't think there's going to be a real easy winner here. But Eyal's been in this position before and he lost. Maybe he'll be able to sort of hold the ship and continue on for this final one. But you know, Viktor has done very well. He beat Ava. He's taken solves off of Patrick Pons in pretty clutch matches. So I think both of these guys are going to be very, very close, and I don't think it's going to be super easy to call. But Viktor just got out of a match and is about to do more solves. So he could either be sort of still feeling a little bit of emotions from that, or still be warmed up while Eyal has to sort of re-warm himself up for this.
I like that match, relatively speaking. It leads for a more exciting output, and it's more exciting when you can't say like, oh, obviously so and so is gonna win.
We got a thumbs up right there from Viktor. Looks like both of these competitors are going to be scrambling here. This is the biggest match of the day for me. In my opinion, every other match is sort of, there's always something on the line, but there's still another one. Here, you are the closest you can possibly get. If you win here, everything that you've done up until this point is worth it because you just made it into the finals. And if you lose, you have to go through that entire gauntlet again. You've got to get back here. You got to make sure that you qualify, make yourself a good spot in the qualifier, and then go ahead and win 3 best-of-5 matches. So Eyal takes this first one here. Got to be feeling pretty good about himself. But that 2.4 second PLL definitely needs to be improved a little bit, and if he wants to guarantee himself a spot in these finals.
And I think this match is even more high stakes than first versus second, because since I already know the finals, this match is going to be do they or do they not have a spot, which is, I think there's more pressure here, definitely more pressure.
Right, I agree. And if they win here, they're going to be joining a bunch of other competitors who've already made it in. So we've talked about our 2 that have made it today, Florian and Manuel. But in addition to those guys, we've got from the second qualifier, Patrick Ponce, George Scully, and Michal Pleskovic, 3 incredibly fast solvers, and I think Patrick Ponce is the most notable on that list. From the first qualifier, we had Bill Wang, Ben Barron, and Chris Mills. And then, of course, we have plenty who've made it from wild cards due to getting a podium from Moscow last year. We'll talk about in just a second after. Eyal makes number 2. He's 1 away.
Ooh.
He is 1 away.
Viktor visibly upset with this. We either need a reverse sweep or Eyal's going to take it.
We got to shake it out.
Yeah.
Take a second to focus. Gather your composure. Clear your brain. And come back and do it. That's all you got to do, and that's all you can do at this stage. Let's take a look at some of these other competitors, though. From wild cards from getting podiums in Moscow last year, some very famous names on this list. Felix Zemdegs, Sebastian and Philip Weyer, Juliette Sebastian, Max Park, Kalina Yakubovsky, Dmitry Anishkin, Ricky Myler, Berta Garcia, and Denis.
That's me. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Incredibly fast list and of talented cubers that these guys are going to be joining if they can make it. And Eyal is so close to making it onto that list of people that are going to be in that global finals. He was close against Patrick Ponce in the 3rd place match last time. He's as close as you could possibly get without making it. Viktor right now, 2 solves down here, but he can definitely take something back. He's got a nice start here, but Eyal is already on OLL.
Ooh.
And is going to be taking PLL essentially as Viktor does OLL. Eyal has made it.
Wow.
Very calm,
clean sweep
cool,
here.
collected.
Viktor definitely upset with that. Very unfortunate for Viktor, but
you feel emotional and heated in these. This is a big moment.
Exactly.
Eyal, who's very experienced, has done is very humble in his victory, and congratulations to him. He was this close last time, and this time he was actually able to make it. So big shout out to Eyal, who's able to make it into the global finals. And Viktor Kamar, you're this close this time. Look what happened to Eyal last time.
Yeah.
We wish you the best of luck in the 4th digital qualifier. All right. We're now going to be going on to our last match of the day. Who do we have, Dana?
We have, we have Florian Trujintanner versus
Manuel Gutmann.
Exactly.
These guys, this is a match for pride. This is a match for seeing who's sort of the best in this qualifier.
I think they both know that. They're smiling. They're relaxing. Florian looks so relaxed.
Pressure's off. These guys are now having a lot of fun. So, when the pressure's off, when you lose the nerves, I think you can actually solve better. We should see some really nice solves here from them. But both of these guys have done an amazing job getting here and have clearly from Manuel's smile that he was having on earlier, the pressure's off. I think that these guys are going to be able to show some really cool stuff. But as we are going through this final match here, you guys who are watching at home can also qualify and potentially make it onto this next digital qualifier that we have. So the top 16 from our offline digital qualifiers will make it onto this. Dana, how do you do these offline qualifiers?
Thank you. Good luck to you too.
Thanks, man.
Do you wanna? I'm not actually too sure on all the details. Do you wanna iron some of them out?
All right, let me do it. So tomorrow, starting on Sunday, September 27th, people down in chat and anyone who has a supported GoCube, Edge, or Rubik's Connected Cube will be able to compete for 10 days, 5 solves a day, to try and make it into the online qualifiers, the top 16 of which are going to be here. And then of those, the top 3 are going to be making it to the Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Global Finals, which happen on November 7th. Dana is going to be a part of those. You may be able to go up against her. These guys, Florian and Manuel, have just made it in. They are playing a match for pride right here so that we can crown a specific winner for these. And Manuel takes solve number 1. at this stage, I think these guys are going to be focusing a lot more on making it, focusing on relaxing, trying to get a little bit of extra experience in here. These types of matches, while they may not change who qualifies and who doesn't qualify, are very valuable experience because you get to be in the environment that you will possibly be in for these world finals. You get to be using your cube in the environment, dealing with a camera setup and making sure that you really know what's going on.
All right, second solve. Let's take a look at these scrambles.
I'm looking at red, trying to make sure that I check Manuel's. There's a nice pair that's saved on red, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to do it. We'll see if he saves that pair. No, he doesn't.
Does not.
Sometimes
Looking
saving
at
good.
white here.
There's a couple of big pauses for Manuel right there.
Ooh.
My cube is not
Florian's
synced.
got another desync.
Yeah.
Ooh, double desync.
Oh. What
We're
happens
gonna have
now?
to. That's a very interesting question that we're going to have to deal with. We're going to go ask a couple of our judges actually behind the scenes to make sure that we get to see what happens here. Okay, so the official call is going to be a restart. Both competitors are going to make sure the cubes are solved, load up, and restart the app. So it says that Florian's a winner here on the app, but in this case, we're going to restart for both competitors. It's still going to be 1-0. It's just some extra practice for these guys.
I believe that's the first time we've seen a double desync, right?
We don't see a lot of them. I mean, that's only the second and the third ones that we've seen actually throughout all of the qualifiers. So, I mean, we're talking about up to 5 solves. We've got up to 15 matches, so 16 matches, so up to 80 solves per qualifier. Fairly good reputation for these cubes, and I mean, 2 of them have been Florian. So, you guys do need to make sure that your cube is charged. So. It's a good thing to make sure that happens, which is just so weird for me.
Yeah, I feel like every year something else needs to be charged. Like a couple years ago, it was watches, computers, phones, whatever. And now we got cubes to add to the mix. Whoa, like this is wild.
I like the connector though. You just sort of like sit your cube on it. You don't have to unplug a cap and plug it into like a USB-C or something. But yeah, I think that's a new sentence to enter the world that no one has ever said that before.
I gotta charge my Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. Calvin Nielsen down in chat is saying, I want to charge my soda. So I think that we've got a couple other items to go, but right now we're dealing with charged Rubik's Cubes, and these guys are going on to the second solve here, which looks a lot nicer than the previous ones.
Yeah, this looks pretty nice.
Not quite sure if either competitor will be able to take advantage of that nice orange, but ooh, Manuel's very fast right now. Already on OLL, but he gives himself a diag, just barely beating out Florian, who had a much nicer last layer with an A perm. So
I believe Florian had a couple big pauses there in F2L, so Manuel took that one there. Now we got it 2-0. The poll seems to be skewing a little bit towards Manuel, and I'm guessing that's because the current matchup is 2-0. But again, this match, all pressure's off. They're just having fun.
Yeah, and those are some of the faster solves that we've seen from Manuel so far. For those of you who are wondering, the best solve on their profile is from the qualifier period. So these guys get 10 days and 5 solves a day, so 50 solves to get a good one. Whereas here, while they're competing live, they're going to be in up to 4 matches, so doing only up to 20 solves under much higher pressure. So sometimes you'll see that their solves that they're doing in competition is going to be a little bit slower than what they do at home. Well, they are at home. It's a little bit slower than what they do when they're practicing off of live streams, but part of that is because they're doing fewer solves, and part of that is because there's a lot more pressure on them. So they have to really try and perform at this level, even while knowing that a couple hundred people are watching them.
Quick, is this going to be the last match, do you think?
The last solve, you mean?
Last
It is
stall,
the
my
last
bad.
match. I think so. Manuel's killing it right now.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, that was a
good
lot
job, Manuel.
closer, but Manuel
Yeah.
takes
Good
it.
job.
Manuel Gutmann is our Red Bull Rubik's Cube World Cup Digital Qualifier number 3 winner. Congratulations to Manuel. Also, congratulations to Florian, who's able to make it into the finals and qualify for the global finals on November 7th.
Definitely not too upset about this loss.
No, I'm sure he feels very good about making it in, and there's very low pressure here. The seedings do not translate over into the global finals. There will be a reseeding round at that time. So we've got our 3 winners. That is a wrap for today. Congratulations to our 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place. Who do we got, Dana? And we had
Eyal, Alfasi in 3rd, Florian Trujintanner in 2nd, and
in 1st place, we've got Manuel Gutmann. Congratulations to all 3 for making it into the World Finals. All of you down in chat, will be able to see them again on November 7th. Good luck training for it, you guys. For the rest of the competitors you saw today, don't worry. The next digital qualifier is going to be on Saturday, October 10th. A reminder that you watching can also join this leaderboard and qualify at future events. In addition to today, there will be just that one more qualifier, so make sure to enter for your shot at the World Final. This stream was a joint collaboration between Red Bull, Rubik's, and Cubing at Home. We'd like to thank the following people: Amit Dor and Particula for helping with GoCube and the applications, Martin Tuca and Red Bull, Megan Thomas, Perry Aubry, and Rubik's Brand Limited, and finally, Mitchell Lane, Saranch Grover, Calvin Nielsen, Dana Yee, and the rest of the Cubing at Home team. It's been a fun stream today. It's been fun casting it as well. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks for the next digital qualifier. I'm your host, Keaton Ellis. We'll see you next time. Stick around, all of you guys on the Twitch stream. We'll be sending a raid off to Brody. So go say hi to him for us and let him know, and all his viewers know, that we've got another digital qualifier coming up in 2 weeks. With that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all soon.